Hey sis, what is your deal, huh? Seriously, what is the big idea here? Why in the world are you here for me introducing my fiance's family to our family? What game are you trying to play here, huh? Carmen, what on earth are you talking about? You just said you brought over Tony's family to meet our family. You realize that includes me too, right? Besides, if anything, I should be the one asking you what you were trying to pull. I had to hear about this happening from Mom. I almost wasn't able to make it here to meet Tony's parents. Duh, that was kind of the whole point of not telling you to begin with. But I don't get it. I mean, I was so shocked when Mom called me over on the phone to ask me what time I'd be coming over. I told her that I had no idea what she was talking about, and she had to explain to me everything that was going on. I didn't even know what restaurant we were all going to be meeting at. I still can't believe that Mom just had to go out and run her mouth to you. She had no right to tell you that was going on. I was doing so well at making sure you didn't know this was going to be happening, too. But I still don't understand why you wouldn't want me there to meet the family that you're about to marry into. I mean, the rest of the family is all there with you, right? I didn't want you there because I didn't want to suffer the humiliation of having to introduce you as my sister. Surely you could have guessed that much. Oh, wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? You don't really mean that, do you? Of course I do. Just think about it. I went to an Ivy League school and graduated with honors. Tony also went to an amazing school and works for a huge company now. You really think I was ever going to let you go anywhere near my elite fiancé? You didn't even graduate high school. You had to go back to get your GED, and now you just run your sad little shop. Are you kidding me? Did you really think that that's all I've done with my life? Oh, please. I know you try to hide from everyone how sad and pathetic your life really is, but it's high time someone breaks you out of the fantasy world you're living in. That's why you need to learn your place and know that I'm not going to let you near my man. Are you telling me that you're really too embarrassed to have me meet your future in-laws and even your fiancé all because I didn't go to college? You know the whole reason I had to drop out of high school in the first place was because of the horrible car accident I was in. I had to go through months and months of PT and just didn't have the time or energy to put into going to school. But I worked hard after my recovery to be able to go back to school and finish my GED. Well, I'm glad that you're proud of all that, but to me, it's just a big blemish on our family's history. And the fact of the matter is that you still only have your GED. You're nothing. Do you understand that? How can you say that about your own sister? I really just don't get you. Well, it's the truth, so that's all there is to it. Besides, it's clear to me that you were just trying to flirt with my fiancé and steal him from me. You really don't think that that's what was happening, do you? We were just having a friendly conversation about what I do for a living. Tony seems to think it was interesting that I made my living growing and selling my own produce through my cafe. That's all we were talking about. I seriously don't even know why I bother with some poorly educated little nobody like you. You always ruin everything. And who cares about some idiot playing pretend in a cafe? You really think that that's going to last longer than a couple more years? Your business is going to fail and you're going to have nothing to show for your sad, pathetic life. I really wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. I'll have you know I'm working hard every day to make my cafe succeed. I don't really care at all what you're doing. Just don't try and do anything for attention around my fiancé ever again. It's embarrassing enough just being your sister, but if you're going to try and interfere with my life, then I'm going to make you pay.
Kim, I just wanted to say how great it was getting to meet you today. I was really looking forward to meeting Carmen's family, and I'm glad that you were there. Thank you so much for being so welcoming into your family at home. My parents and I really appreciated it.
Of course, we were all excited to meet the man who was going to be marrying my sister. So I hope that we all have the opportunity to see more of each other in the future. But I guess the next time that's going to happen will be the wedding, so I'll see you then.
Wait. Sorry. There's actually something I wanted to ask you about, if that's all right. You said that your cafe was closed for the day, right? I was just wondering if we wouldn't be able to continue our conversation from earlier for a bit.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? I don't quite follow.
Well, you see, I went to an agricultural college, so I just really enjoy talking about farming, especially with other people in the industry. In fact, even my parents' house has a little mini garden where we experiment growing different kinds of crops or things.
Oh, really? Well, I guess that certainly explains why you were so interested in what I do for a living.
And since I live in the city now, I don't have nearly as much as I did back home to be able to grow things. So talking to you was the first time I'd gotten to talk about that kind of thing in a long time. Besides, I just think it's so amazing that you grow your own food and incorporate that into your cafe business. To be honest with you, it's always been a dream of mine to do something like that. So anyways, I just wanted to say once again that I'm happy to have gotten to meet you today. And if it's okay, I'd love to see your garden and cafe one day.
Well, by all means, feel free to stop by while I'm open and I'll arrange a tour for you. In fact, I have a spare corner in my garden that's not really being used. You could grow something there if you wanted.
Wait, really? Do you mean that? That would be amazing. I hope I'm not being forward in saying that I would love for a chance to do that.
Well, as long as you take care of that bit of land and don't make it something I have to look after, it's all yours.
I don't even know what to say. It's been so long since I last got to garden. This is really amazing. I have to say, I'm really quite surprised by you. Carmen told me you two don't get along so well. So this whole time I was expecting you to be some kind of cruel, cold ice queen. But you're just a warm, kind-hearted person with a green thumb.
I really think you're being too kind with that description, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Wait a second, I got it. What if we hired you to cater a wedding? We would love to have some of your cooking there for everyone.
You want my cafe to cater your wedding with my sister?
Of course. We've already started the plans for the wedding and everything like that, so I know I'm not giving you a lot of time. But even just a simple menu would be amazing. I just think that would be a really special way to feed everyone on the big day.
Wow, Tony, I don't know what to say except that I'm honored that you would ask this of me. But what makes you so sure that my cafe's food is even good enough for all of your guests?
Well, it's just that my parents are going to be there at the wedding, of course, and as you might have noticed, they are getting quite old. Both of them actually have trouble even chewing meat now, so knowing that you have a whole vegetable garden and a menu full of good options in your cafe, I'm sure you're the right choice.
I see. Well, okay then, if you're really sure about this.
Not only that, but I always find wedding food to be so heavy, and I think having more veggies will make everyone feel better and prevent anyone from getting too sleepy. Besides, I have a couple modeling friends who I'm inviting, and they have been bugging me a lot about the menu. So this is also a way to address some of their worries.
I see. Well, I suppose people are wanting to eat more vegetables for all kinds of reasons these days. But anyways, if you're sure you'd like to hire my cafe, we'd be honored to cater your wedding.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy that we got to meet each other. This is going to be perfect.
And I'll spend some time thinking of a menu worthy of a wedding. Thank you so much for giving me something to do in my sister's wedding.
No. We're the ones who should be thanking you for being an option.
Of course, but I think it might be best if we keep my involvement a secret from Carmen. I just don't think this would go well if she found out beforehand.
Wait, what? You mean you don't want me to tell my sister that you're catering our wedding?
Well, it's like you said, Carmen and I don't really get along all that well, right? So I think that's why she shouldn't know my role in this. Just tell her you found some standard catering company and leave it at that.
Well, I suppose you would know how your sister would react better than I would. And who knows? Maybe the surprise might help push you two closer.
Yeah, I guess we'll see about that. But anyway, I'll help you out just as long as we keep it a secret from my sister.
Well, okay then. If those are your conditions, then I'll keep my mouth shut. If you just wouldn't mind sending over your menu ideas and rough budgets for them all, that would be great. I can't wait to see the finished product.
Hey, Carmen, what is your deal? Let me back inside, now! Why did you kick me out of your own wedding? What is the matter with you? I was only kicking you out for your own good, Don't you realize that a lowlife like you doesn't belong among all of these successful people? But you were the one that sent me the invitation to be here in the first place. The only reason I sent you an invitation was because I didn't want to hear any crap about not doing so from Mom and Dad. But you should have known that I didn't really want you here. Besides, how can you even afford to take a day off work to come here? I thought you could never take a day off from your cafe. You better run back to your shop and make sure you're not already bankrupt. I'd hate for you to get back just in time for there to be nothing left standing because the bank took their land back. I'll have you know that my cafe is not nearly as small of an operation as you think it is. And I would be more than fine to close the business for a day now and then. So can you please just let me back inside? Oh man, it really is just sad how hard you're trying to prove yourself right now. There's no way I'm ever going to believe that your business is anything but some rinky-dink little business that's on the verge of collapse. You really need to get a grip and realize you're nothing compared to some of the people here at my wedding. Of any, just look at the time. What in the world are we even talking about right now, Carmen? I mean, what are you even doing here this early? The guests for the wedding aren't supposed to show up for another 3 hours or so. Don't tell me that you're actually so stupid that you don't even know how to tell the time. I came here at this time because I have things to get ready, if you must know. And just what is it that you have to get ready, huh? Did you need to try and practice fitting in with all the amazing people who are going to be here? Well, don't bother because I don't want you here anyways, so just go back home and never come back. You really have no idea what you're talking about right now, do you? I know that I've kicked you out and that's enough. There's no place for you here, so why don't you just turn around and let me get married in peace? Just go back to your stupid little cafe and keep it running so you can put it off the inevitable. I'm telling you that I can't just go back to my cafe today. I came here for your wedding and I'm going to see it through. Am I supposed to find that kind of language kind or comforting? I'm telling you that I don't want you here, so why don't you just beat it? You really mean it. You really want me to just turn around and leave. Let me break this down for you, but Tony and I went to amazing schools. Everyone who is coming to this wedding are also all of the upper crust of our society and top people in their field. There simply isn't room for a poor little nobody like you to just hang in here. So I don't care what excuses you have to stay longer, but you're simply not wanted. I don't get why you're always putting me down just because I didn't go to college. Aren't you proud of me as a sister for achieving all I have in spite of what I've been through? I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, if all you've done is open up some crappy little cafe, it would just be insulting to you if I'd pretended like I was impressed. Especially when your business just isn't going to last all that long anyways. Speaking of, you should really get back to work now, don't you think? Are you really sure you want me to leave then? How many times are you going to make me repeat myself? Yes, I want you to leave. Go! It really isn't that hard. Just go back to your crappy little cafe to make your crappy little food and serve it to your crappy customers. I see. Well, okay, I can do that, but your guests are going to have to be satisfied with just water then. What are you going on about? I mean that if you want me to go home, then I will, but just make sure to apologize to all your guests. Hey there, Tony. I'm really sorry about this, but I wasn't able to prepare any food for the wedding today. I've got some juice prepared, but you might have to cut them with water to make sure that they last the whole wedding.
Wait, what? Are you serious? What do you mean? What happened?
Well, I was just locked out of the venue and then ordered to go home by Carmen. She told me I didn't belong at the wedding because I'm poor and told me to go back to my cafe.
Are you kidding me? Did she really say that?
She really did. And to think that I was going to write all of this food off. I was going to take on this catering job as a wedding gift to you both, but she turned me away.
Well, hold on a second. I'll deal with this.
Kim, are you there? Why didn't you tell me you were catering my wedding? I didn't know that Tony hired you for that. Well, it's true, and it's why I was at the wedding venue so early. I'd been preparing for this all week, but then you told me to turn around and go home. Well, that's before I knew what was going on. You have to get back here right now. Everyone's about to arrive and there's nothing for anyone to eat. Sorry, but I've already returned to my cafe to do my job like you said. Well, I'm telling you something different now, so hurry up and get back, or else I'm gonna flood your shop with negative reviews. For doing what? Following your orders and turning around? You were the one who canceled my services at the last minute. But you don't understand. You need to get back here right now. Tony is saying that if you don't come back, he won't marry me. Wait, now he's saying that the wedding is off anyways. How did all of this happen so quickly? Why would you ruin my wedding like this? I didn't do anything to ruin your wedding. It's not my fault if your husband didn't know the kind of person you really were. But, I mean, I don't get it. Why would he be taking your side in this? He's not really going to just leave me just because I made fun of your lame job, is he? I think that if you don't know the answer to that question, then you really don't know your fiancé that well at all. I don't know what's going to happen next, but it sounds to me like you two have a lot of talking to do. Just leave me out of it. After that, I heard from Tony that he called the wedding off for the way that Carmen treated me and my job, after explaining the situation to his family, who were all sympathetic towards me and were actually looking forward to talking. They all understood and agreed with his decision. I also explained to my parents the kinds of things that Carmen had been saying about me and how Tony came to find out about all of that. Carmen begged Tony to get back with her, but he refused, after knowing how she felt about small business owners and agriculture workers. A group Tony was quite close with and connected with, he knew he could never be with her. After Tony canceled the wedding, I told him to bring his half of the wedding party to my cafe to enjoy all the food that was meant to serve at his wedding. I met many people who were interested in what I was doing, and my business really began to pick up through their word of mouth. Although my sister might not have gotten married, at least I made a great new friend and many important business connections.